with the thousands of unruly passengers reported to the FAA over the past few years. Bill George is an executive fellow at Harvard Business School and the author of True North, Emerging Leader Edition. Clearly, this was a leadership move to go out and make a stand for people to treat each other well. But like everything today, there's divisiveness that comes into the conversation, inspiring, patronizing. What do you think?
The pilot is the captain of the ship. And I think, we've had an incredible record of commercial airline safety in the last 20 years. And I think we've become complacent. This $100 million flying machine, a lot can go wrong. And I think that captain has every right to set rules for decorum. I wish every captain would do this. I travel on Delta a lot. I got 4 million miles of flying in recent years there. And the captains often come out. I wish they would set some rules, because I think people oftentimes are rude and behave inappropriately. We're tight together, 150, 200 people in a very small space. And I think the captain should do this. So bravo to him. Yeah,
and you forget, I think all of us forget, that these flight attendants are first responders on these planes. If in the event of a real emergency, they would be the ones to keep us alive or safe. What do you believe is the cause of such unruly behavior? It can't just be more people drinking, more people on meds, more people stressed out. Do you think it's a lack of respect in our culture?
I do. I think there's a lack of respect for the people sitting next to you in this small space, and I think we need to reclaim that. But by the way, it may be drinking. I would personally go further. I wish the airlines would limit people to 2 drinks. I had someone upgraded to first class 10 years ago who sat next to me, and frankly, she had too much drink. I told the flight attendant, stop serving her. She kept serving her. She got drunk and threw up all over me. It was great going to my meetings.
And you still remember a decade later. You'll never forget that flight. Something else I've noticed that I want to call attention to, while we support those who fly with us, those flight attendants and pilots, there are rude flight staff today. I mean, they are on the defensive because they have to deal with some of this mess. Do they need a retraining for how to de-escalate situations? I can tell you, I just flew through Phoenix. I have issues in Phoenix. The flight attendant at the gate slapped my hand away when I tried to scan my boarding pass and said, I told you, wait. I've had people block me with their body while trying to get on a plane because my bag wasn't zipped up. I mean, it's like there's a power move because they want to establish their authority. Do they need a little more etiquette?
Well, I think some retraining would be very helpful. We are their customers. We're the reason they have jobs. And I do think how to de-escalate, use a key word there. We don't want to escalate conflict with passengers and flight attendants. We want to de-escalate it. And there are very well-known techniques for doing that. And I think they do need training in that. Absolutely. And I think, again, the pilot and the crew really have to ensure a safe environment and one where treats everyone civilly. Yeah. And I think that's the flight attendant's job.
As we look at these different incidents, we're showing video of people being slapped and bitten and punched. Do we need to take a new approach to honor and authority and respect? I mean, what are the rules of engagement today that potentially came from our fathers, our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers' generation that we could revisit? Because I think a lot of people think that certain codes of conduct are antiquated or passed away. But there's some, there's some benefit to kind of doing what Granddaddy would have told us to do.
Absolutely. And, you're sitting 6 across or on a big 777, 9 across. And we're crammed in, and we need to know, well, here are the ground rules. And frankly, when captain tells you to put on a seatbelt, you put on your seatbelt. You don't get up and you don't turn on your video or things like that. And I think those rules need to be reinforced. And I think I think the flight attendants could do it in a nice way. I don't like being talked down to flight attendants either. So I think that decorum coming back to our society, let's start it on the aircraft because we're flying so much. That's a pretty good place to begin.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.